Now we view Money Farm, silhouetted against a sunset sky, streaked with dark purple and fiery orange. Clothes flutter restlessly on a line strung outside the house. A lone figure strides to a leafless tree, stands before the headstone, and reverently removes his hat. Words appear. Some years later, Mrs. Ansonia Feathers made the arduous journey to Hodgman County to visit the last resting place of her only daughter. William Money had long since disappeared with the children. Some said to San Francisco, where it was rumored he prospered in dry goods. And there was nothing on the marker to explain to Mrs. Feathers why her only daughter had married a known thief and murderer, a man of notoriously vicious and intemperate disposition. The clothes on the line and the man fade away, leaving the house, the tree, and the grave. This film has been described for blind and visually impaired audiences by Descriptive Video Service, WGBH Boston, with funding provided by Gordon and Laura Gund. Described by Samantha Manahan and Brian Gould. Read by Nick Mills. Major funding for DVS is provided by the United States Department of Education. For more information about DVS, call toll-free 1-800-333-1203 or write to our email address, dvs@wgbh.org. Credits appear. Directed and produced by Clint Eastwood. Written by David Webb Peoples. Executive producer David Valdez. Director of photography Jack N. Green. Production design by Henry Bumstead. Edited by Joel Cox. Music score by Lenny Nyhouse. Associate producer Julian Ludwig. Cast of characters: Clint Eastwood as William Money, Gene Hackman as Little Bill Daggett, Morgan Freeman as Ned Logan, and Richard Harris as English Bob. More cast: James Woolvett as the Schofield Kid, Saul Rubinek as W.W. Beauchamp, Frances Fisher as Strawberry Alice, Anna Thompson as Delilah Fitzgerald. Credits roll: Production Manager Bob Gray, First Assistant Director Scott Maitland, Second Assistant Director Bill Bannerman, Third Assistant Directors Grant Lucibello and Tom Rooker. Casting by Phyllis Huffman. Canadian casting Stuart Akins. Art Directors Rick Roberts and Adrian Gorton. Set Designer James J. Murakami. Set Decorator Janice Blackie Goodine. Script Supervisor Lloyd Nelson. Assistant Film Editor Michael Cipriano. Supervising Sound Editors Alan Robert Murray, Walter Newman. Music Editor Donald Harris. Supervising Dialogue Editor Karen Spangenberg. Sound Editors Neil Burrow, Gordon Davidson, Marshall Wynn, Butch Wolfe, and Cindy Marty. Sound Mixer Rob Young. Boom Operator Kelly Zombor. Scoring Mixer Bobby Fernandez. Technical Consultant Buddy Van Horn. A Camera Operator Stephen St. John. B Camera Operator Roger Vernon. Still Photographer Bob Akester. Wardrobe Department Head Glenn Wright. Head Makeup Artist Mike Hancock. Head Hairstylist Ilo Flewelling. Chief Lighting Technician Tom Stern. Special Effects Coordinator John Fraser. Special Effects Foreman Maurice Routley. Unit Manager Lynn Bestflug. Head Wrangler John Scott. Wrangler Bosses Tom Buse, Tom Glass, and Tom Erickson. Titles and Opticals by Pacific Title. Sonora Unit Production Manager David Valdez. Second Assistant Director Jeffrey Wetzel. Knives designed by J.P. Moss. Remaining cast of characters: David Mucci as Quick Mike, Rob Campbell as Davy Bunting, Anthony James as Skinny Du Bois, Tara Dawn Frederick as Little Sue, Beverly Elliott as Silky, Lisa Repo Martel as Faith, Josie Smith as Crow Creek Kate, Shane Meyer as Will Money, Elaine Levasseur as Penny Money, Sherilyn Cardinal as Sally Two Trees, Robert Coons as Crocker, Ron White as Clyde Ledbetter, Mina E. Mina as Muddy Chandler, Henry Cope as German Joe Schultz, Jeremy Ratchford as Deputy Andy Russell, John Piper Ferguson as Charlie Hecker, Jefferson Mappin as Fatty Rossiter, Walter March as the Barber, Garner Butler as Eggs Anderson, Larry Reese as Tom Luckenbill, Blair Haynes as Patty McGee, Frank C. Turner as Fuzzy, Sam Karras as Thirsty Thurston, Lachlan Monroe as Texas Slim, Ben Cardinal as Johnny Foley, Philip Hayes as Lippy McGregor, Michael Cheroys as Wiggins, Bill Davidson as Buck Barthol, Paul McLean as Train Person Number 1, James Herman as Train Person Number 2, Michael Maurer as Train Person Number 3, Larry Joshua as Bucky, George Orison as The Shadow, and Gregory Goosen as The Fighter. Color by Technicolor, filmed in Panavision, Dolby Stereo. The producers gratefully acknowledge the invaluable help and cooperation of Bill Marsden, Film Commissioner of Alberta, Murray Ord, IATSA 312, and the citizens of Brooks, Drumheller, High River, and Longview, Alberta, for their support and friendship during the production of this film. Motion Picture Association of America, number 31757. Copyright 1992, Warner Brothers Incorporated. This story, all names, characters, and incidents portrayed in this production are fictitious. No identification with actual persons, places, buildings, and products is intended or should be inferred. The animals used in this film were in no way harmed or mistreated, and all scenes in which they appeared were under strict supervision with the utmost concern for their handling. Dedicated to Sergio and Don. Distributed by Warner Brothers, a Time Warner company.